Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Call of the Night Season 2 episode number 8 reaction. Okay, the previous episode we started getting to know more about the Anko, or what she was called in her past, which was Meijiro. And we get to read her diary, or Ko was reading her diary, and also got to know a little bit more from Nazuna as to like how they were friends and how she was one of the prime candidates for becoming one of her offsprings, but it never worked out. So all those things. So we're like in the middle of a flashback now, and currently we're in that section where Meijiro's in her father's room trying to find out, like like stuff, and yeah, and someone is outside the door or something like that. It abruptly ended over there, like it was like a cliffhanger. So let's see what happens. Let us begin. I'll be putting subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is a preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's mom. Hmm. The way she's standing. But can she say that my friend is here? Oh, well, wait, what? What? Couldn't she say that I'm my? Maybe there's some kind of a reason. Wow. Well, yeah. I was gonna say she's reading detective books. No. Right. Okay. Yeah, maybe, like I said, maybe there's a reason. Maybe they like panicked so much that they were like, "Oh, you need to hide," you know. So, or maybe there's actually some reason why she couldn't just say that, "Oh, my friend is here." You know, like they could like they got out of the dad's room, and they could easily be in their room and be like, "Oh, my friend is here visiting." Hmm. Yeah. So conveniently located. Wait, was that Kiku? The person that went right. Well, oh damn, Sherlock Holmes. Hmm. Well, that's a normal way of thinking. Kyoichi. Hmm. So now it makes her feel like, "Tch." Oh, is that dad? Yeah, that's dad, right? Yep. Oh wait, he's getting here. But we can just be. No, why? We just. Oh no, but no, we need to do it. Yeah, because we're keeping an eye on him. If he sees us here. Yeah. What? Like, if it was in other situation, we could have just been outside. But we're keeping an eye on him. Thank goodness, because. Hmm. No, I don't know. Maybe he's gonna meet somewhere here. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a stakeout. Nothing happens most of the time. Oh. Well. mm, Oh, maybe someone messaged him. He was just waiting here to go somewhere else. He was spending time. You are awfully close to be tailing him. Okay, now what? Well, Nazuna can go fast, but then Meijiro's. Wait, what the? Wait, who was that? It's another vampire. No, no, it's another vampire. I fell, yeah. Well, it's. I was gonna say, it's healed because she's a vampire. I am a vampire. I'm a bloodsucker. Yeah, but from blood bags. Well, hmm. Aside from the. Yeah, true. Huh. Yep. And obviously, the vampire have to suck the blood. All right. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so here's the thing. Other vampires will never be able to get out into the sun. She's at least with a umbrella. Is it because she's a half that she has a little bit of tolerance? Oh no, here we go. Oh boy. Did she not go to her home? They didn't show after she went. Yeah, what happened? Hmm, not really. That shows how disinterested. Yeah. Hmm. Well, we have to get to the bottom of this. Tch. Hmm. Chains of love. Damn. Wait, then did I thought she was already in love with her, so she never turned into a vampire. What? What? Okay, now I'm not sure what happened then. I just realized this is her place. Well, maybe that means she still didn't completely fall in love with her and. But wait a minute. Doesn't that mean that if she. Because. Well, blood bags. Oh, yeah, and that as well. I forgot about that. Oh no, something's. Okay, something's gonna happen now because I feel like. Oh, that. No, like, I feel like she didn't get enough time after that for her feelings to completely become concrete so that she can turn. Something happened before that. Also, 2 a.m. Okay. Alright, something's gonna happen now. Oh boy, here we go. What? Oh! I ended. Okay, show me your neck. Show me your neck. Is it Kiku? I need to see his neck. Because if this is Kiku, then the way she operates is that after taking us her blood, she would probably not. And that's why he changed his mind. He's like, oh, I took care of that. But I'm pretty sure he'll become a vampire because we saw that before. Oh, her birthday's on Halloween. Damn. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, his neck seems okay. Yeah, I said that in the previous episode. Yeah. Wait, what? Oh no! Wait. No, wait, what's going on? Is it because it's Is it because it's silver? It's silver, right? Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yep. Alright, here we go. It's Kiku. I'm pretty sure it's Kiku. Yep, there you go. I was trying to see the mark. I couldn't find the mark. So before. So wait, so he has been vampire for a long time? Yeah, well, take the lighter. Okay, so the lighter is made of silver, I think. That's why it worked. Yeah, and then she chokes him out. We saw that. Saw this scene before in that episode. The ties around the neck. He's disappearing in the sunlight. Right. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, there we go. Right, so that is her dad's glasses. Oh my god, she's here. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, so I was pretty much correct. Now, one thing I'm still not, they haven't confirmed, but I think it's Kiku. Kiku's the one who did all of this, like, who was responsible. Because it's pretty damn obvious. Like, who else would it be? The one vampire who has this method of operation, like, and I'm pretty sure they showed Kiku in today's episode as well. There was a very brief section when they were in the diner. A lady goes by. That was her. I'll go back to that part. Okay, so however, I didn't. There's one thing that I didn't guess, which was that she already bit her. I didn't know that actually. I couldn't deduce that at least. So that changes a few things because I'll talk about it just a minute. Hmm. Okay, that is it. All right, there you go. That was today's episode. So yeah, a few things, not a few things, quite a few things happen in today's episode. Like, we get to know the the past, the full past of Nazuna and Anko. So wait a minute, just a minute. Okay, so yeah, we get to know about Anko and Nazuna's past completely here. What was, the few things that was remaining for to get revealed, which was obviously, how did his dad, become like that? What happened to Anko after that, or Meijiro, obviously, and all these questions get answered in today's episode. So I was pretty much correct, I think. like, because I kind of envisioned it going like this, which was, um father, it seems like father, doesn't like, Meijiro and all that, uh, acts like that, is very standoffish and all that. And Meijiro obviously doesn't know how to react. She doesn't like being at home, all those things. And the reason behind it being, in my head, I was like, he was involved with a vampire. Now, this vampire which he's involved with, I thought it was Kiku, and I think I'm still like sure that it is Kiku. Like, let's wait. I'm sure they'll reveal who the vampire was who turned her dad, but I'm pretty sure it's Kiku because of a few reasons. Number one, she Anko was very much adamant in getting her hands on Kiku herself. No, that's number one reason. Number two, Kiku's mode of operation, which still haven't really been explained properly, like what she does. But from everything that we have seen with what's his name, Ko's friend, Mahido, right? Mahido, yeah. What all we have seen and observed from Mahido, and we have observed from Kiku and her personality, I think, like, what she does is wait for the human to fall in love with her, then and only then she bites them, takes blood from them, because obviously your emotions changes your taste of blood. So she like waits for that emotion to sprout first, which is like the emotion of love towards the other person. That probably makes the blood, like, very tasty or something, I don't know. So that's why she waits, she does that, she takes the blood, and she probably keeps them around for a while and maybe like cuts them off later on, like, and moves on to someone else. That is why all the other vampires, they have told, like, they've given the information that she has like 50 or so many offsprings, more than that probably. That is the reason why she takes the blood from them, cuts them off, then like, and then just moves on to another one, and that's what happens. you know so again, these are all guesses. I'm guessing this is what happens. I might be completely wrong. And she did the same for um Meijiro's father. And then when we saw in today's episode, Meijiro's father was like, oh, like, I've cut off all ties and everything. That's probably what it was. They cut off all ties. Father came back home, was like, okay, let's start again new as a family. But obviously, cutting off ties means he was already bitten. Because, like I said, if it is Kiku, Kiku definitely waits for the optimal moment when the other person falls in love, then takes the blood. And obviously, taking the blood means biting the other person. And since the other person already loves you, that person becomes a vampire. Or, like, immediately becomes a vampire. Just like what happened with, what's her name? Oh my god, I forgot her name. Kabura, yeah. Just like what happened with Kabura and Haru. Kabura already loved Haru from the very beginning. That's why when Haru took her blood, bit her, she immediately became a vampire. That's not what happened with Meijiro, however, because I think, like, it was, she did like Nazuna, but probably the emotional, like, the threshold didn't wasn't reached to for it to turn into complete love. That's why she never became a vampire. Same with Ko as well. Ko also likes Nazuna, but the emotional, like, like the level, it still hasn't reached the love status. So that is also why Ko is not a vampire now, still, even though he was bitten. But for her dad, I'm assuming, since he already probably liked Kiku, Kiku bit him, he became a vampire immediately, and then probably was there with her for a while, and then they cut the whole thing off. And that's why he was saying that, oh, it didn't happen up until now. Why is it happening now? He says something like that after biting his wife. That's why. So he has been a vampire for a while, but it never happened. This blood craving never happened, but now it happened. That's why he was confused. So yeah, and then this happened. Like, he attacked them, like, and then somehow, in my head I was like, somehow I'm guessing Major probably killed him because of that scene we saw in that previous episode where we saw someone on the floor, tie around the neck, and is disappearing in the sunlight. I was like, it was probably her dad, and that's what happened. And yeah, so I was pretty much correct about most of the stuff. But like I said, there's still one thing that hasn't been confirmed, and we'll have to wait, which is who the vampire is who turned her father. I think it is Kiku, and I'm like 70% sure it's Kiku. Let's wait and see if that also matches. However, there's one thing that I did not guess or that I couldn't predict, which is the fact that Nazuna already bit Meijiro. That was unexpected. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that, oh yeah, she was supposed to turn her into a vampire, but she never did, and it just, like, things went wrong completely, and she never bit her. But no, she did bit her. But the thing is, the reason why she's not a vampire is because before her emotions reached love status, this happened, and she's like, oh, I don't think I'll ever be able to, like, look at vampires the same way. And and never reached it. So here's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen in the show, and which direction this go, what's going to happen, how this is going to end, because I do know the manga has ended, and I also know there's apparently like some kind of a sequel as well to the manga. So it has ended. I don't know how it ends, what happens to Meijiro, but if things end in a way where everyone is happy by the end of it, they resolve their whole situation and everything. My question is, if in the future Meijiro starts liking Nazuna again, will she become a vampire? Because she's already been bitten. That's my question. I think she might act, if that happens. Like, Oh no, 1 year. I forgot about that. Okay, never mind. No, scratch that. Nope. Okay, I got my answer myself. Never mind. I forgot the whole time limit thing. Right. Okay. So that's never going to happen. All right. I asked the question and I immediately got my answer myself because I remembered. Yeah, the 1 year time limit. I forgot about that. Yeah. So you have to become a vampire within 1 year, and I'm pretty sure after that day, loads of years had passed. So okay. So she will never be able to become a vampire. That means, even if she was bitten, the 1 year time limit went out, so she's never going to become a vampire. Even if other, like someone else bites her, or someone else tries to turn into a vampire, that'll also not happen, right? Because I think they mentioned that once you miss your chance, you can never be a vampire. Like, it doesn't matter if someone else bites you and you fall in love with them within the next 1 year. I don't think it'll matter. You will not. You've lost that opportunity. I think something like that. So she's someone who will never be able to become a vampire. Okay, so I think, okay, there you go. Right. Like, because this is something that I was thinking throughout the episode. I was watching and I was like, okay, wait a minute. So does that mean if in the future she starts liking Nazuna again, will she just automatically become a vampire? No, I remember now. The time limit. I forgot about the time limit completely. Okay. Right. So there you go. Now, right. So yeah, there you go. That's what happened. Okay. So now, like I said, I need to go back because I'm pretty sure when they were doing the stakeout, that was Kiku. I'm pretty sure that was Kiku. There was a very brief section where they shows a woman walk past the window. Wait a minute. Let me check. Yeah, that's Kiku. And you see this part where Nazuna, and the very first part where Nazuna and Meijiro are sitting down and they're talking to each other, and they're like, oh, we're staking out and everything. It's such a conveniently placed cafe where we can just, not cafe but diner or whatever, where we can sit and just look at the other side, and the other side is like the workplace of my father, and where where Major was saying the universe is clearly working in our favor. That part, just go to that part and watch the scene. There's a woman who's walking past the glass pane. That is, I'm 100% sure that is Kiku. Same hairstyle, same dress. It was this very brief section they showed that, but I'm pretty sure that was Kiku. Okay, wait a minute, just a second. Her name is Kiku, right? Or am I just saying her name wrong the whole time? Wait a minute. Call of the Night. Let me just check. Yeah, there you go. Kiku Hoshimi. Right. Okay, so I was correct. The name was correct. Sometimes I do, like weird things where I I remember a different name and I keep calling the character by that name, and then in the end I realized that wait a minute, that's not even her name. So I thought maybe a same thing was happening. No, Kiku, that is her correct name. Okay, so yeah, just go if you miss that scene, go to that scene and just look at it. There's a woman walking past the window. Man. That's her. I'm pretty sure that was completely like coincidental, but I feel like they deliberately put that there because like a little hint or something. Yeah, I'm more convinced now that the woman, the vampire who turned um, Meijiro's father into a vampire, was Kiku. Like everything points in that direction. Like the reason why, that's also one of the reasons why she has particularly like circled Kiku's name and being like, this is the one vampire that I'll get on my with my own hands, you know, and all that stuff. All those things point in that direction. So yeah, I'm pretty sure now it was Kiku, and it would make sense, it being Kiku, because of her track record. Right. Okay. So you know what? I'm going to say something here. I think this is what happened. Um, Meijiro's family, good family, nice family. As she said, she has a nice like household. She has a nice upbringing. She loved both her family members, father and mother. A happy family. And then something happened. Something happened, and where her father stopped interacting that much with them, started staying out late. You know, like mom was not happy. Mom was accusing him of cheating and all that. He was not also answering properly. All that stuff. Both of them used to fight and like quarrel. She didn't like it, and that's why she ended up just staying outside. You saw in the library just reading books. You know, while this was happening, I think her dad came in contact with Kiku. Kiku did her whole thing of like being all nice and sweet, like ooh, you saw what she does, and she probably made a target on him and be like, yeah, I'm going to make him fall in love with me. Then I'm going to take his blood to get the best taste or something like that. Like some kind of a reason like that. I'm assuming. So yeah, and that happened, and more they started interacting more and more. Her father stopped coming home, and all that stuff happened. And then and this is also the same time, I'm assuming, when Meijiro met Nazuna. You know, because she used to stay outside, didn't want to go back home and all that. She met Nazuna, she started interacting with her, shared her whole thoughts and everything. And while all of those things are happening with Meijiro's dad and uh, you know, like not Meijiro's dad. Meijiro's dad is Meijiro himself, because Meijiro is the last name. Right, Kyoko, right? That was her name, I think. Her original name, Kyoko, was it? I think so. Her dad, and so that was going on over there. Then when Kiku realized that, oh, this guy completely loves me, she took his blood, immediately turned him into a vampire because he has fallen in love with her. Yeah, and then probably kept him for a while after that. After becoming a vampire, this just kept continuing. um Nazuna became better friends with like uh Meijiro, and then we had this scene today where Nazuna was like, when she was crying, and Nazuna was like, "Oh, should I turn you into a vampire?" And she bit her, you know. And along this, during this time, you know, I'm guessing something happened with the dad and like Kiku, probably, like maybe his dad realized that what the hell am I doing, or maybe Kiku was like, "Oh, I don't need you anymore," you know. Either of that happened. Something happened, and he was like, "All right, enough. I'm just going to, I'm just going to move on." And he, I'm guessing he cut all ties, came back home, and on the same day, Nazuna told Meijiro, like, "Oh, I'll come at 2 o'clock," and yeah, and then this happened. He was like, "Oh, I'm back. I've talked with your mother and everything. Everything is okay now. They brought cake. They made a happy birthday. all that, and we know what happened after that. I think this is how it went. Now let's see if that is actually how it went. I'm sure we'll get more explanation as to who it was that turned her father into this, and all that stuff we'll get to know. But yeah, let's wait and see. But yeah, but here we go. So now we know that um like she actually was already bitten, but she didn't become a vampire because of that experience that she had. She immediately, her whole thing was like, oh, vampires. And it was like, I'm sure she didn't, like, she didn't have any kind of grudge against Nazuna. I don't think she had any grudge against Nazuna. But the fact that Nazuna is also a vampire, and the vampires did the same thing to her family, that I think she wasn't able to accept it. As soon as this happened, her whole, like, personally, I don't think she had anything against Nazuna at all. Like, no grudge, nothing. But it's just the fact that she is going to become the same thing as the people, like as the person who his dad became and killed her mother in front of her. That oh, I'm going to become the same thing as him. That disgusted her so much, probably, that it was just something from the inside that she wasn't able to accept. And that is why, even though she really loved Nazuna, or she was almost at the threshold of, from her feelings turning from like to love, it never happened because of that thought that, oh, if this happens, I'm going to become something like that, you know. So yeah, it's something like that happened, and that's why she literally said, I don't think I'll ever be able to become a vampire after what happened today. And she just moved on. Right. And then, like I said, like a year passed, and now obviously she cannot become a vampire, even if her thought process changes. It doesn't matter. She's lost that opportunity, so it's never going to happen. She'll remain a human. So yeah, but damn, that's what happened. That's what we saw today. Like, like I said, I kind of, I guessed a lot of these things happening, but still, it was just, you know, seeing it was just something else. Um, right. Okay. So a few things to talk about in today's episode, which was, I guess you could say, where's that part? Yeah. Um, the whole section of where Nazuna and Meijiro talks about, like what a family is and all that. Where Nazuna, obviously Nazuna has no idea what human family, like, what human relationship is like, what a family is and all that. She has no idea. So she's like, oh, is it that bad, like this cheating thing that you're talking about? At which she's like, I don't know, but I don't like it. I don't know about others, but personally, I'm I don't like it. Like the fact that, like, like, I'm his child. My mother is his wife. We have like devoted, like, like we're devoted like family. We like faith, like, we're like open with each other. We have a trust amongst each other. And if someone from that breaks all trust, and that is the main thing. So I cannot stand it. And yeah, and like that whole like conversation that they had, like I'm realizing a lot of these like values that Nazuna has is something that she actually learned from Meijiro. Like Kabura was barely, like, Kabura just taught her how to speak, I guess, kind of. And I don't know, like hunt for food. That's all. And did her hair. That's all that Kabura did. Like, obviously because Kabura had her own problems. Like, she literally looked like the person that she loved, so Kabura herself couldn't talk to her properly. Um, so because she reminded her of her past. So that's why Kabura barely spoke with her and everything. But she like gave her like the minimum, I guess, basic education and how to speak or talk and walk and as a normal human being. That's what Kabura did. And her personality, which was actually created, which was, which grew little by little, that personality is something that was shaped by Meijiro. If you think about it, her concept of family values and everything was something that she got from Meijiro. um yeah, which makes sense, obviously, like I said, because Major herself said that she seems like a little child who is learning everything, and more the time I spend with her, more and more I feel like she's becoming human. Because as a kid, your personality, your, like, environment shapes your personality. Like the type of environment you live in, the type of external factors that you're exposed to, makes up the type of person who you become. That's why, like, kids are like sponges. They suck everything up and they make it like their own thing. Right. So that's why the same thing happened with Nazuna as well. She was learning little by little. She's learning and everything from Meijiro, from other stuff from her environment and all that. So yeah. Right. And there you go. So that was the section in the diner. Now for the diner part, I would assume, okay, so that happened the day before, right? The day before her father came and apologized. That happened, yeah, because she spent the night outside, and as she said, she went back and mom didn't even say anything. Yeah, it was the day before. So the day before that happened, she went home. Mom didn't even care. So she came back to school. Nazuna met her. And that's when Nazuna, and she started crying. Nazuna was like, oh, you want to become a vampire, this and that. Became a vampire. Then went back home at night. And then all of this happened. So it was one day earlier. So it was the day before. Okay, so I think, like I said, Kiku went past the same diner, you see? Um, so then Meijiro, like, like her father comes in, sits down. Either he was waiting there for someone, or he was waiting for like a call or something. I think that's what happened. Then he started looking at his phone, probably some message, maybe from Kiku. I don't know. Then he went, took the taxi as we saw. Oh, another thing I'm forgetting. Someone punched Nazuna. I completely forgot about that. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. So wait a minute. Let me go back. So she got into the taxi, and I think it was she was going he was going to go and meet Kiku. Well, he didn't come back at night. Okay, I'm going to see who was it that punched her. I have no idea. It's a whole damn silhouette. You cannot say who it is. Like, the most probable person should be Kiku. Maybe it was Kiku who punched her. You know, she was the only vampire there in the vicinity. Like I said, she went past the diner. Maybe she was like keeping an eye on Kyoko's dad. And then when she saw Nazuna following them, she went and punched her so that she cannot keep following him or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, whatever happened, I think like he went, and like like Meijiro said, next day she went back home. Mom was there, so dad didn't come back at home at all. So yeah, I guess probably he met up with Kiku. Don't know who was the one who ended up cutting ties. Was it him? Was it him who was like, oh no, I cannot continue this anymore, my family and all that. I need to cut off ties. And Kiku was like, yeah, whatever. You know, was it like that? Or was it Kiku who was like, oh, like, I don't care about you anymore. Your blood doesn't taste good anymore. Piss off. And he was like, what? You know, and that was that. Either of it happened, I'm guessing. Whatever it was, like, he ended up cutting ties, and then went back home, talked with his wife, probably apologized, like, asked for forgiveness, and all that happened. And while all of this was happening, Meijiro was there with Nazuna. Nazuna turned her into a vampire. Oh no, was bit her in expectation of turning her into a vampire, you know, and then they came back, and then all of this happened. We know what happened after that. So, maybe that's what happened. Anyways, yeah, let's see. Right now, after that, during the scene at the home, as we saw, everything was going normally. Obviously, like her dad was like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have, like done this and that. I've, yeah." And then Major was like, "Oh, it's too late." Started crying, and then the little birthday cake, they cut and everything. Um, right, and then the the lighter part comes in. So, okay, one thing I'm forgetting. Remind me, please. Is it because of the fact that he probably didn't intake blood regularly that he went berserk here? Because I think that's what happened usually, right? If you do not intake blood and you kind of like restrain yourself, like something like this happens, like you lose control. Maybe that is also the reason why he was so sensitive to the lighter, because I'm guessing the lighter was maybe made of silver or something. So so that's what happened, I guess. After, like, it became like it reacted to his body, the lighter, he lost all control and kind of, like, did this, and the blood, like, like, ended up hurting Mejiro. Blood was there in his hand, and then looking at that blood, he probably lost more control. And that's why when her mom was like, "What the hell did you do? Like, why did you do this?" and went close to him, like, looking at that blood on his hand, he probably lost all control, and he was probably thinking it was a dream. So he bites his wife, kills her, and goes more berserk after that, loses more control, and then next goes for her. And then, we see what happened. She used the lighter to kill him, and choke him out with a tie. So, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing that's what happened, right? Because I'm guessing it was because he acted like that because he was probably not drinking blood. Because, it makes sense. Like, like, you're a human, and you suddenly become a vampire. You obviously, you just cannot, like, just be like, "Oh, okay, whatever, I've become a vampire, I'm just gonna suck blood willy-nilly." Obviously, you cannot make up your, like, it's going completely against your morals and everything. It's very difficult to adapt like that, like, in that quickly. So most of the times, the humans that become vampires, they probably try to refrain from drinking blood, and that kind of affects them more, and they lose all control when they come inside of blood. And he was probably doing that. He was trying to refrain himself from drinking blood after becoming a vampire. I don't know exactly when he became a vampire, but it definitely happened a few days ago. And so he was trying to not drink blood at all, and that is why, like, and I think this wouldn't have happened if he didn't hit her, and the blood didn't come off, and it was on her. I think that's what happened. Like, the lighter made like a reaction in his hand, and he was like, he dropped it, and he's like, "Oh, oh," tries to get it, and oh no, sorry, she gets it. Yeah, and she puts it in his hand. Yeah, and it starts affecting him so much. Obviously, he didn't like it. He threw it away, and, like, the blood, and then the blood that spilled on his hand. Looking at that, he probably lost even more control because of, maybe he was refraining in drinking blood. And that's when his wife came close to him, he lost all control and just killed her. Same with Tried to do the same with her as well, and right. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think that's what happened, and we also got to know, get to know that her the glasses that she wear is her father's glasses. I did think the glasses that her father was wearing the same as her, but I didn't realize that it was his glasses. But yeah, and the lighter as well, which obviously makes sense. Um, okay. Anyways, like I said, there's a lot of things that I kind of like speculated today. Maybe it didn't go exactly like that. Maybe there's something else happened, but I feel like more or less I'm on the correct path, and this is exactly how things went and what happened. So yeah, let's see what happens now. Now in front of them, Anko's literally standing there in front of them. So yeah, let's see. Anyways, I do. This is one thing I'm pretty curious about. Like I said, she definitely hates vampires, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think she particularly she hates Nazuna. But like I said again, it's very it depends, because even if she doesn't personally hate Nazuna, the fact that she's a vampire in itself is probably something that she just cannot accept because of what happened in front of her. Like literally, she saw what is the result of becoming a vampire and how it goes most of the time. I also remember her warning Go before. Like she said stuff like, the first meeting with Go, I think she said gave a lot of warnings to him and told him that, oh yeah, like, and later on, she also says in season 2, she also says that, "Oh, Ko, I warned you so much. You didn't listen to me, did you?" You know. So yeah, she was genuinely warning him because of her experience. And yeah, so it's that. Personally, I don't. Obviously, she loved Nazuna, but the fact that she's a vampire, and like she knew that she's a vampire, obviously, but the fact that this can happen in front of her, a literal vampire, which was his dad, took the life of, like her, and she had to take the life of him. She lost both her loved ones to a vampire. That disgust and everything, that is probably so overpowering that his personal preference for Nazuna doesn't even matter at that point. Her overwhelming hate for vampires overshadows it. So yeah, so I'm curious, is she, going to attack Nazuna? Because I don't think up until now I've ever seen her say anything about Nazuna or say anything about attacking her or anything. Like she has been like hinting that she's going to get all the other vampires. Every other vampire's name is there. I don't remember if Nazuna's name was there in his note in her notebook. I guess I need to recheck. I don't remember. I've seen all the other names. Like, even Love Green. Even his name was there. LG, I remember. You know, Kiku's name was there. Obviously, Kiku's name was specifically like highlighted. Like, oh, I'm going to get this person definitely. Which is the reason why I'm thinking that Kiku's the one responsible for turning her father into a vampire. And there were all the other names. I don't think I've seen Nazuna's name there. Or maybe it's there and we still haven't seen it. Or maybe it is there and I just forgot. If it was shown in season 1 or something, I've probably forgotten if her name was there. But anyways, I'm curious to see how this is going to go, because like Nazuna is different, you know, in front of her at least. So like yeah, let's see. In the opening song, the opening we see both of them fighting. So I feel like it's going to like go to a state where they're going to fight. But yeah, let's see. Let's see how this proceeds. All right, and there you go. That was it. That was my reaction to episode number 8 of Call of the Night season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.